We want to go inside the courtroom. Dan Conley is speaking about this verdict. Let's listen.
Particularly Captain Jack Lannon, Lieutenant Bob Murphy, and Trooper Dan Herman, who was the lead investigator on this case, all behind me, as well as the Winthrop Police Department and other law enforcement partners for the extraordinary efforts that they put into this case and that they went to give an innocent child back her identity, and who fought so hard to see that those who hurt her, who betrayed her, and who failed her were held to account. I know there was intense focus during this trial on Rachelle Bond, but witness testimony was only part of the evidence. Rachelle Bond's testimony was clearly valuable and credible because it was corroborated by independent evidence that she didn't know that we would obtain. Michael McCarthy's phone records, his text messages, weights from his father's shop, and the very location where Bella's body was discarded all support her account. We don't take any joy here. Every lost life is heartbreaking and tragic, but anytime someone so young and so innocent is lost, it magnifies the pain and the sorrow to awful proportions. An innocent life was not merely snuffed out, but callously discarded, and that offends everyone who believes that every human life is precious and deserving of love and respect. For 85 days, some really great people went to heroic lengths to give Bella back her name. And for the past 3 weeks, and actually from the beginning, Assistant District Attorney David Deacon, Assistant District Attorney Hella Sash, and victim advocate Kara Hayes acted as her voice. I am extraordinarily proud of their efforts and those of everyone who worked on behalf of little Bella Bond. By the time of her death, every adult in Bella's life was distracted from her care and well-being by drug addiction. Rachelle Bond's addiction in particular was enabled and exploited by the defendant. To anyone who says that drug dealing is a victimless, nonviolent crime, I would point to this case. Bella was a homicide victim, but she was just as surely a victim of addiction and desperation in the very people she was supposed to rely on for love, for care, and for protection. As prosecutors, we wish more than anyone that every case came to us with upstanding witnesses, strong forensic evidence, and a motive unique to the offender. But real life doesn't work that way. Bella Bond was submerged in water for more than 3 weeks, and that washed away the forensic evidence we all wish we could have had. We didn't know who she was for almost 3 months, so it was unrealistic to think that investigators would find much forensic evidence in the apartment where she lived and where she was killed. The people who occupied Bella's world were almost all in the throes of heroin addiction, and that's who the jury saw, and that's who they heard. They are not witnesses we would have wanted, but we don't get to choose our witnesses. It is because of all these obstacles that, regardless of the verdict, I am so extraordinarily proud of the prosecutors, the police, the victim advocates, and other professionals who really took this little girl to heart and did everything they could for her. I want to say one more thing, and this is very important. It's not just because you're all assembled here. I want to thank you, the members of the media, for the attention that you gave to this case from the very beginning. And I especially want to thank a number of reporters and editors who really went to extraordinary lengths and did just some really outstanding reporting in that long period when we all were worried and wondered who that precious little girl was. We didn't forget her, and neither did you. And to those journalists, especially, thank you for the quality and the care of your work. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer a few questions.
Dan, how do you just speak to Rachelle Bond? A lot of people watching this are not happy that she will get time served here. How do you feel about that deal that you entered into? Rachelle Bond was the primary witness here.
Well, we, there's no question that Rachelle Bond, had so many complicated issues in her life. I mean, she was in the throes of heroin addiction. She's had a very difficult and tragic life, and a lot of people don't like her. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. But her testimony, and when we first interviewed her, when the troopers interviewed her, when David interviewed her, it had the ring of credibility and truth to it, and we were able to corroborate it. Now, under our system of justice, as I say this at community meetings a lot, when I'm talking to people about, unsolved cases, for example, everything that happens here for accountability requires evidence. And after interviewing Rachelle Bond and analyzing what she had to say, and then checking it and corroborating against some of the things we did have in the case, the cell site location data, the text messages from McCarthy, where the body was disposed of and how closely connected Michael McCarthy was to that, the weights that certainly linked him to the disposal of the little girl's body, all were corroborated. So in order for us to proceed, we felt very strongly and secure in our belief that Michael McCarthy was responsible. And to do that, we entered into a cooperation agreement, but it required her to speak truthfully, to testify truthfully, and we believe that she did that. She acted reprehensibly. I think we can all agree on that. But as I said in my prepared remarks, we don't choose our witnesses. We rely on the witnesses that observed, facts that will ultimately be put into evidence. So.
The Bureau continued to say just a moment ago that she is.
You've been listening to Suffolk DA Dan Conley speaking about the verdict that came down just a couple of hours ago in the Bellabond case. Of course, stay with WBZ both on air and online as we continue our coverage and reaction to this verdict announced this morning.
We will have a complete wrap of this today at 5 o'clock.